My name is Sam Nelson, and I am here today to introduce you to Foody Consulting, an idea for a business that will change the way our education system views food waste. The objective of this pitch is to show how and why my food waste management consulting company can be most effective in teaching students in colleges ways to minimize food waste so that they can reduce their environmental footprint. Starting off with the business model, colleges would pay us so that we could make their campus more environmentally sustainable, along with educating their students on how to make a more positive impact on the world after they graduate. Our business will produce revenue and manage operations costs in a couple of different ways. The first way is by having the schools pay an annual fee for our consulting service. This would provide the schools with short classes every year on food waste that covers its effects on the environment, as well as ways the students can reduce food waste on their campus. The classes would be taught by hired consultants that worked for the company and would be paid for by the money brought in by the school's subscription. The class will serve as an introduction to the company and what it hopes to accomplish with the students. The second form of revenue would be offering schools the opportunity to hire a consultant that as an independent contractor to work with the school on a day-to-day basis to address the more individual problems the school might have with sustainability. This would add on to the initial annual fee that the colleges already pay. This can appeal to the colleges that want to make a sustainable change but need a little bit more help than just a few simple classes to educate their students. This could include counseling on food distribution, food disposal methods, or suggesting ways to change the expectations of the students when it comes to the proportions of food that they take. Moving on to target market, when choosing the primary target market, the first thing that I thought was who my service could benefit the most. The first potential market I considered was the food packaging and distribution companies. Seeing that they were the ones responsible for potentially the most harmful part of food waste, I thought it might be a good idea to try to help these companies transition into producing more environmentally sustainable packaging products. The problem I had with this segment, however, was that it might be too difficult to convince companies to hire us because of how expensive changes to supply chain could cost. I then considered targeting sports stadium owners as a potential target market. I thought of how many plastic cups and empty bags are left in the stands after a game and wondered how the stadium disposes of all this waste. We could work with the stadium owners to come up with new ways to deal with the waste after a game, as well as advise them about more sustainable options for distributing their food and drinks. The problem I saw with this segment, however, is that even though we could make sustainable changes to the way they distribute the food and drinks or change the way the stadiums dispose of the waste, the amount of actual food wouldn't decrease. This is because we weren't able to change the actions of the people attending these events. They are still going to buy the same amount of food and with the same number of cups and bags everywhere. As I researched more about food waste, I found that colleges actually produce up to 22 million pounds of food waste each year. With such a large impact on the amount of food waste we create each year, I thought that this might be a good place to target my service. Colleges offer the perfect opportunity to reach a large number of people that can have a large influence on their community. By having a new wave of students coming each year, it allows my service to continue being useful to the colleges. They would find benefit in knowing that my service is providing their students with knowledge that can help them save a more positive influence on the world after they graduate. This would also benefit the colleges themselves, as showing an emphasis on sustainability would increase the moral and social standing within a community. Moving on to position, our main competitor and our position in this target market would be with the other consulting firms that offer similar sustainable education to businesses. Some of these businesses include companies such as Global Trash Solutions and SLR Waste Management Consulting. They both offer similar consulting services as I do, but don't necessarily target schools. The way we stand out from the competition is that my company offers a service that is individually designed for each school and offers an interactive classroom learning experience that can be retaught every year. Moving on to brand. In terms of brand, I wouldn't want our classes to be a simple lecture style, but instead would be led by the students, and the consultants would just try to guide the conversations in a sustainable and educational direction. I want my brand to portray the idea that sustainability is interesting and relevant to the students today by teaching the students in a saying that they have a part in designing. They can feel like their actions can make a real difference at their campus. I want my brand to give them motivation that they can affect change even at the individual level. The three most important experiences I want my consumer to feel when they are using my consulting service is that it is easier than expected to manage food waste. It is important that we start using more sustainable practices now, and that coming up with new sustainable options could be profitable for the students in the future. The service I am offering has already proven successful for businesses looking for more sustainable practices. We can see this from other successful companies in the business. What makes us stand out is that instead of going from the top down working with already established production methods like most businesses, we are starting with the bottom up with the young adults that will shape our future. Our product will find success in our target market because we are willing to offer a service that is both interactive and informative.